Right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Tuesday, the 19th day of March, 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive, and of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. The Ghanaian Times. AI is way to go in Africa. Embrace emerging technology to boost continent's economies. IMF boss to African leaders. Redouble efforts to end Sudan war. President appeals to AU. Yoko grabs 4 of alleged 113,947 cedis mobile money and SIM swap fraud. NDC government will breach financial inclusion gap. Mahama. Daily Guide. UK denies seizing £15 million from Ghanaian. Akufo-Addo gives Ashanti judges 24 buildings. Nana charges African leaders to end coups. Hot shift system starts March 25. Internet disruptions affecting economic activities. New Crusading Guide. Ripples from CJ-led explosive judgment. Part 2. Judge dislikes Anas. Barnes' judgment was not based on law, but to help Kennedy Japan, Justice Tanko. Ghana's decision to go to IMF has paid off. Akufo-Addo. Bawumia charges NPP parliamentary candidates to work hard for victory. Effective communication on NPP's achievements will help break the 8. Afenyo Makin. University of Ghana cancels online interim assessment over internet disruptions. The Insight. Banking cleanup. Mahama promises forensic audit into matter. Stop the terror, unlawful grading of our farmlands by Ochiman Task Force. Among Krum farmers appeal to IGP and National Security Minister. Madina MP thumbs up Mahama's proposed free nationwide apprenticeship program. NDC's fixed rate on spare parts imports, a game changer, says Techiado. Children's health in Gaza, obliterated by Israeli attacks. The Daily Statesman, obey constitutional tenure. Akufo-Addo urges African leaders. CDS assures strong ties with pleas for Ghana's security. Bawumia to address 7th Ghana Female CEO Summit. Newmont Otumfuo Foundation fund AI smart labs in communities. The New Finder. Nana Addo tasks African leaders to curb coup menace. Ex-Nigerian sports minister praises Ghana's Organization of African Games 2023. Otumfuo backs GAEDEC miscellaneous bauxite deal. Resist arm twisting in Eurobond negotiations. IMF MD cautions Ghana. Daily Post. NDC demands forensic audit of $243 million splashed on shambolic organization of the ongoing All African Games. Okay, it's African Games. We are now moving from taxation to robbery. Domelevo. Ghana disgraced as South Africa pulls out of All Africa Games. It's Africa Games, okay. Hockey competition over substandard pitch. So that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have the Member of Parliament for the Ododo-Diodio constituency. He's also a former Minister of Youth and Sports in this Republic and a journalist as well. The Honorable Neil Ante van der Poel. Okay. There's an Edwin, but people forget that one. He's here with me on the show this morning. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, bro.
Have you ever been called a D in your life?
No.
Okay.
No. Some of my aunties prefer to call me Eddie when I was quite young.
Oh, okay.
For some time now they've stopped.
Anyway, all right. So I get back to Honorable Neil Ante pretty shortly. We're expecting the Honorable Reverend John Ntim-Fodjo, who's the MP for Asin South, and also Deputy Minister for Education, to join us. But he's just called to inform us that he will not be able to make it. He just called a few minutes ago to inform the producer that he won't be able to make it. But if you're looking for a toothpaste that will take care of all the family and save money, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste, and this is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with an all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint, gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864798. KEL 360 toothpaste. Happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages. But worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lifts and Elevators at Sakumono, or just call them on 0200-535-515, or send a mail to elevators@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. All right, so let's get on with the discussion. Now, Neil, let me start off with this. When I received news that you were not running for parliament any longer, I was surprised because I didn't see that coming. And no wonder the Ododio primaries took virtually forever to happen. Why did you decide that you didn't want to go again?
Randy, thank you very much. And let me say good morning to your viewers and also to thank you for having me on the program. Randy, it gets to a time when a human being, every human being, every person, you need to take certain decisions in your life. Those decisions will be premised on experiences you've had in the past and also sometimes your objectives and goals that you set going forward. Let me be frank with you. The first thing why I took the decision was for the NDC.
It was for the party?
For the party.
Why?
I thought that my abilities and this thing was being limited and narrowed as I stay only in Ododio. I felt that having lost 2 elections, I felt that there's something I can contribute to the national picture for us to be able to win the national elections. So I felt that let me take a back seat from the constituency, let somebody run, and then let me go up to the national level and assist so that the presidency being the ultimate will be able to win it this time. That was the first decision. So when I discussed with my family, everybody supported the idea. The second one was also because I also felt that I've built a brand. And every election year, so many issues come up. The last elections had a toll on me. Up to today, I continue to think about the young man who died, who took the bullet for me, Emmanuel Dobre. Many people do not know what really happened, and we've not really told the story.
There was an assassination attempt on you?
Yes, it was virtually an attempt on me. And he just, I don't know, by design of God, just walked through and took the bullet.
Where?
In the constituency. You know, I was in the hotel. That's where I used as my election center. So when we finished, by 9:15, 9:30, we finished collating our results. So we knew we had won. So we were celebrating in front of the hotel. The party supporters were there. Then somebody drew my attention to some guys who were in black with a white band around their head. Initially, they thought they were our supporters who were celebrating, but no. So I was called by my party executive to come to the coalition center at the city engineers for the declaration. I said it's too early, but they insisted. So we're descending the staircase. The hotel has a door. So just when I got to the door, the people saw me coming out, so they started jubilating. Then my security said no. All the boys behind me should come out so that I will be the last person to get out. So as soon as the door was opened, Domprey was our agent at Sakumo Chonshi. He has submitted his pink sheet. So he was with us. So he was ushered. So as soon as the door was open, I stepped aside. I was pulled back so that he could come out. Then the others will follow, those behind us. As soon as the door was open and I was pulled back, Domprey appeared and then he took the bullet on his chest. So if Domprey had not come and the door was open, I had stepped out, I would have taken the bullet.
Whoa.
It was
This was election night.
Yes, election night. So he fell right in front of me. So I was pulled back into the hotel. And immediately the guy started firing and then sped off.
But the constituency is a place where virtually everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
So is this somebody who...
Oh, we know them. We know them. And Randy,
Yes.
the difficult aspect, up to today, those boys are working free. And rather my people...
So you made a report to the police?
Yes, we did. And my people, that day, I was arrested.
Yes.
I was arrested together with my team, my coalition officers, my security. We were all arrested.
For what?
And charged. They were charged for murder.
The murder of your agent?
My agent.
Okay.
So my people have been in court for all these years. We are in court. In fact, they are going to court next week or something. They're going to court.
But in your statements to the police, did you not indicate the persons that you believe?
We did.
And were they arrested?
No.
This is strange.
Right, Handy, it's strange. Let me be frank with you. Before the elections, we had a walk. And we were shot at. The video went viral.
Yes.
The guy was holding gun shooting.
Yes.
That guy is still walking around. And the 5 people he shot, one of them had been in court for 4 years.
Standing trial.
Standing trial. One of the people he shot at has been in court.
So you're saying this is the second reason why I decided not to run?
Yes, I felt that I had been a target. It happened in 2016, in 2020. I can't be foolhardy.
But you're a tough nut.
I am, but the Bible says in all things apply wisdom.
Okay.
So I felt that if because of Nilante, people would die. People like Domprey would die and leave their young family. I'll step out so that somebody else come and let's see whether the same scenario will occur.
So you think it's about your personality?
Yeah, because they find me too difficult to beat.
Then it means that you're handing over the seat to them?
No. Okay. No, but the issue is that the work we do to win the seat will still be done. It's not about Nilante van der Poel as a person, as the candidate, but it's the work we do.
But that's also a factor.
Yeah.
You've lived there.
Inspiration.
All your life. When you were on GBC
Yes,
TV,
I was living there.
So you were like a local hero, assemblyman. I mean, you're there, you speak Hausa, you speak every language that is spoken in the constituency, you speak it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and so I will still lead the campaign. I will still do everything for Ashikote. I will do the normal campaign. We do the number strategy. We always adopt. The strategy is there. I will still lead, but then I will be the face on the ballot. And and also let me also be frank with you. I'm very objective about this. You live in the constituency where the longer you stay, people become fed up with you, no matter how they like you.
Were your votes reducing?
Yes, in 2016, my votes came down from 21,000 to almost 17,000. Yeah, but that one, the factor was the demolition exercise that happened at Old Fadama.
Okay.
It affected a lot of our people who had to relocate to the north. In 2020, all of us, our votes reduced. so many things happened. There were a lot of busing of people from other constituencies to we tried to stop it. It didn't happen, and so the MPP will have suffered more hemorrhage. But even that one, they didn't increase their vote.
Okay.
They have never increased their vote. If we reduce, they reduce. The turnout was also very low.
Okay.
In 2020, the turnout was low because of the shootings and things that happened before the election. People were scared. People were scared. In fact, we were more affected because day in and day out, our people were being beaten. Especially the young girls, they go on walk, they were beaten. So on election day, many people advise themselves that no matter what we will win, but I will not risk my life to go out there to vote and the rest. So I still won by 7,000, but I felt we could do more. It's still the same because no one has really won the constituency with more than 5,000 before. So I still, since 92, it's never happened before. So I still felt that we could come. And I'm sure that this time we will go beyond 20,000 difference.
Now, what makes Ododio that peculiar case?
Randy, but you come from there.
That extraordinary constituency.
Maybe you should have asked your dad.
He's told me quite a lot. But there's something.
You know, it was the hub of all political activity during the pre-independence time.
Then as Accra Central.
Shedu Keteke.
Yes.
You know when Nkrumah broke away from the GCPP, he had his first ever rally at Arena. And, our mothers, our grandmothers, Akole Dodua, Akole Ashikishan, and all those people sponsored the rally. And that really shook the colonial government. They tried everything possible to calm people down. But Nkrumah was strong, and the people really rallied behind Nkrumah. They even abandoned their own indigenous person, Dr. Bannerman, and rallied behind Nkrumah to win the seat and become prime minister. We suffered all the atrocities that happened to Nkrumah. We had the Locust House bombing incident in the constituency. We had the Arena bombing incident. We had so many attacks in the constituency. These Tekotego and all these guys were from the constituency.
Yeah.
And so my father used to tell me that the political fight we are experiencing today is the guns and the machetes that have come in, but they cannot be compared to what happened during their days. The Tokyo Joes and the rest. They organized fights, community fights among the political adherents of the various political persuasions. And it was hot. And people lose their limbs, people lose their ears, and So it has transcended over the period. But let me say, at the time, it came down a little. I remember very well in 1979, it was basically Ashila, teasing one another, but it didn't turn into fights. Okanja Damafio was really a household name, and people respected him so much. In 92, Ishmaelite's time, there was no incident. Possibly because the MPP were not that strong at the time. But from 2004, things started degenerating. I came in very young in 2004, and all of a sudden, I was arrested and charged, and the youth were not happy. So the tension started building up between our supporters and the MPP supporters, and that has escalated to today. We're hoping that we'll be able to nip it in the bud. We're hoping that we'll be able to put the past behind us. Maybe the sacrifices that Bridget and Emma made in 2020 should be an awakening to us to know that we are one people Because if you enter every house in Ododo, even if you have 10 NDC supporters, you have one MPP. We are family. And as I talk today, the MPP constituency secretary is my cousin.
Yeah.
You understand? Neil Akai. And he's also a direct cousin to our former constituency organizer. And they were living in the same house. So we are a family and you know. But you see, what the MPP cannot countenance is the fact that they see the constituency as theirs. After Odwisai came on and built all the political aura in the area around himself. So they thought that traditionally, even though he was in Nkrumah, because of the role Atokwashi and the rest have played in the political destiny of the constituency, they should be the rightful owners of the constituency. Unfortunately for them, the constituency has a very strong CPP foundation. And my father and the rest, because of me, enveloped themselves into the NDC. So there's 99% of the CPP adherents in the constituency are now NDC people. So that is what has made the NDC
my
stronger.
My father was part of 1% that went MPP.
Yeah, there was a few. Those who were not happy with the revolution, and they had a problem with the had problem with the PNDC and all those things. Went to the MPP. The late E.T. Mensah's wife, Auntie Vida, for example. She and then Hetty Stores, Henrietta Lamte, the late Henrietta Lamte, they were the ones who they suffered. They are the Makula women who suffered under PNDC, still follow the NDC. And that helped because most of the women, the strong, our politics in Ododo is the women. People don't know, is the women. So most of our women, the strong women who helped build the CPP, who helped build Nkrumah, are now, and their children and grandchildren are now with the NDC. And that has made the NDC stronger.
Okay. Now, so this is what, your fourth term?
Yes.
Fourth.
Not my third.
Your third term?
Yes, I'm not going for the fourth.
Okay. So you would have done 12 years?
I would have done 12 years if I have gone, and I would have done 12 years.
Yeah, by the close of this year?
Yes, I would have done 12 years.
12 years?
But I would have been Mugabe if I had gone in 2004.
Okay. So what stopped you? You lost the primaries?
No, that was when I was arrested.
So you couldn't contest?
Prevented from contesting.
But were you the NDC's candidate?
Yes. In 2004, I was a candidate.
You were prevented from contesting?
Yes.
Why?
No, because the case was in court. The party said that I should step down for the late Mankata.
Oh,
so I stepped down for the late
Mankata.
Yes, that's what brought Mankata. And unfortunately, he passed.
Yes.
And then we brought Taki Kome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So since I got hold of the constituency in 2002, when I returned from the UK and got hold of the constituency, MPP has never had a chance. And that's why they think that I am the factor. Okay. So they must get me. Because they were holding the seat and we took it away from them. Nibia Ibonte lost it.
Yes.
To Mankata.
Yes.
And then Taki Kome came on and all those things. Taki Kome built on what Mankata started, and I have come to build on it. The party looks solid. The party looks grounded now that some of us were not too happy with the decision which was taken, but then it's for a good reason. The party.
When is it decision? What do you
We
mean?
thought that you needed somebody who is cast in the mold of Neil Ante Van der Poel. People could easily see Neil Ante Van der Poel, the person, to really lead. And so that's why we encouraged Michael Aboyanan.
Okay.
Because if you saw him, you would have seen Neil Ante Van der Poel. And so we thought it was easy to have him. But unfortunately, the party decided otherwise. And then we had a primaries, and then Ashikote won. Ashikote is actually my boy, almost my son. Is my, let me say, if I consider the fact that my mother now, my auntie that took over from my mother when my mother died, the one we were given to take care of us, is his stepmother.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, it's my junior brother. Yeah. It's my stepbrother. So he comes from the same area. We all come from Zongolin, Kolewoko, and so it's easy to be able to identify with me and continue with the twin. But I think that we could have made the constituency much more easier and safer with Michael Aboyanan. Because he looks very charismatic. And because he has an MPP background, it was easy for him to swing over a lot of the youth of the MPP into the NDC.
But I've seen your candidate a few times, and I think he's a great guy.
Ashikote.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
I think
He's followed.
I like him. Yeah.
He's followed me for long. He's been. I mentored him to become an assemblyman.
Yes.
After I left.
Yes.
I mentored him to become the constituency secretary, and because we are stepbrothers and we work together every time he was with me, and so he is. We need to build him more.
So you're going to lead the campaign for
him?
Yeah,
I want.
What about Michael?
Michael will do. Yeah, he's on board. He's on board. Right. We have quite a united front now.
Okay, let's watch this.
Nilante Banaman. Nilante Banaman at the end. Nilante Banaman. Jojo Hano. Motuama Mia. Na Motuama Nilante Vanderpool. But. Say. Manka the year cry. Nilante Banaman. Nilante Banaman at the end. Nilante Banaman.
What was your reaction when you first saw this?
Randy, God works in mysterious ways. We were really under siege for almost 2 days. They didn't allow us to campaign. The vice president came there, and because the vice president was coming there, we were told not to do, then we were told not to do anything. So we didn't do anything. Then the next day, the president was also coming. And that day was supposed to, we shared the days, so that day was supposed to be our day. So because we're not allowed to do anything, we just got ourselves into a prayer mode. We said, everybody must pray in your house, get together and pray. So I was in my prayer room we built a prayer room for the whole month. I was with my pastors. Every month we were fasting and praying during that period of from mid-November to December. So when the thing happened, in fact, when we were praying, one of the pastors said, something big is going to happen today. He was feeling it in the spirit. I was a bit scared because the people were talking about something, incidents and all this, and because the shooting, when he said that, I said something big was going to happen. So we're there actually praying when we heard a roar in the constituency. So we left the room, came out, and said, what's happening? I said, President Chogbe, President Kebubayi election. So when people were jubilating, so immediately I said, God has done it. So immediately I organized my vans, my mobile vans, to go around the constituency and thank the president for endorsing me.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh.
I got a van, I asked the driver to go around and thank the president for endorsing me over his candidate. And it was good. It was a good feeling. It was good. It rained and we
Anyway, so how many times did Nilante Banaman contest against you? Twice. Okay. Now, in the next election, the two Nilantes will not be on the ballot.
Yes.
Would the dynamics change a lot because both of you are not on the ticket? Will the level of violence and acrimony reduce?
Well, let me say this. The MPP candidate is also a very good friend of mine. He used to be one of our youth organizers.
NDC?
Yes.
Okay.
The father, the mother, the sister, the whole family is NDC. And he's quite a nice boy. He's one of the young boys we were nurturing. It's a bit unfortunate that he decided to join the MPP. I don't know for what reason, but I can say that wisdom should have told him that there's no way he can win the constituency. So, and because he's so close to us, and up to today, he always sits with his family members and community, the Cowling people who are our NDC though, plays cards with them, and you know. So I know that he will have counsel, and having also taken a cue from the strategy adopted by Bannerman, which has failed him twice, I think it will be good for him to decide to have a decent, peaceful campaign and elections. It's not going to be easy, but then I can say for sure that he is going to be much more an easier opponent to us than Neil Ante Bannerman will have been. Because if Bannerman was to be on the ticket and I'm not contesting, because he has contested twice, he will have given them some advantage. He will get some sympathy. And Bannerman was really giving us a lot of, let me say, difficulties in English electoral area, which used to be our hub. At least he was winning some polling stations and polling centers in English. And he made English quite a difficult place for us. He pulling out will give us inroads into English. Because English is one of us.
Did he lose the primaries, or he decided not to
He lost
contest?
the primaries.
He contested and lost?
Yes, Manaf was the establishment candidate.
Okay.
Manaf was, MPP look at the council, they feel that I am strong in the Muslim enclaves. So they were picking somebody from the Muslim enclave in order to reduce my strength.
Okay.
Now that I was not contesting anymore. That was their strategy. To some extent, yes, it's good that they thought that way, but they have also freed English for us. And then whether the Muslim communities of Kawule, Okanshin, Zongolen would vote for him because he's a Muslim is something that I think they didn't look through, because they should have looked at the past result. Ajesoa came and he didn't do any, he didn't have any impact. Yes, it was a Muslim too. He didn't have any impact within the Muslim communities because they are 99% NDC. The people in Zongolen, Kawule, Okanshin were the people who really felt Buzier's drastic decision on the aliens compliance order. The people in Kawule, Okanshin, up to today, they still talk about it. And so the MPP thinking that they could turn around their fortunes in those communities, I think is just a strategic miscalculation. And all that we need to do is to solidify our operations within that area and then make it easy.
Okay. So now let's shift on to something. You were sports minister.
Yes.
Okay.
I was privileged.
Okay, I see. And I've seen yesterday, I saw a statement by your party. I mean, we have the Africa Games going on. It's catching up quite slow. I think that even with the athletics, I see that people are getting a bit more interested in it. And of course, the soccer and all that, the girls have qualified for the semis. I think the boys are playing today.
Yeah.
And we thought that, well, we obviously will, as Ghanaians, would want to have a tournament. When a tournament is done, and there probably are issues for us to deal, we'll deal with it. But then we heard of South Africa pulling out because of the reasons they gave for their hockey pitch and all that. The next thing is that you issue a statement and then you are asking for the resignation and or dismissal of the minister for gross incompetence. And you're speaking about monumental embarrassment to the nation. And you're asking for a dissolution of the LOC while the competition is ongoing. You're also asking for a forensic audit into the budget and expenditure for the preparation. And you want a televised probe by Parliament into the expenditure organization of the Games. So you've used the hockey, the South Africa withdrawal, the Ghana cycling champion, who had issues, said he used his personal bike. And then you also...
swimming?
Yes, we're looking at a colossal amount of 195, which has been spent, and 48 million for transportation, feeding, and other logistics. And you say that this is another evidence of ineptitude and corruption of the government. Why won't you wait for us to finish with the games, and then if you have issues, you raise them?
Thank you very much, Randy. Yeah, I agree with you. Initially, our thinking was that we were going to wait, and as patriotic Ghanaians, let the games be over, and then we can do a critical analysis of the games, and then be able to offer the critique the way expected of us. But then, the monumental embarrassment that has occasioned us because of the withdrawal of the South Africans, based on one fact, that the pitch was poor. Randy, if you're going to go into a competition like this, especially when we ask for so much in order to put infrastructure in place, and we ask ANOCA and the AU to give us more time because we need to put things in perfection. And then we still have such an embarrassment. It is very, very disturbing. And that is what necessitated that, look, we said we're going to hold our guns and wait until the end of the games. But then the situation demanded that we talk. Randy, you see, hosting of games, especially when it comes to the African Games, is supposed to be the catalyst for African unity and also to tell the whole world how Africans we developing our own potentials when it comes to organization and the management of sports. We saw what the Kenyans did in hosting the World Athletics Championship, the Diamond League. We saw what the Moroccans did. We saw what the South Africans did. South Africa even hosts World Rugby Championship. So Africa is not bereft of ideas and competent hands to be able to handle this. And when it comes to hosting of such tournaments of continental nature, Randy, you know that because the AU that is organizing it with the support of ANOCA and the African Council for Sports, it is no more a national thing. It becomes a continental affair. So even when you lack expertise, you could fall on other countries to help. And also there is a blueprint that has been developed over the period that you can easily look at. Randy, you know that the John Dramani Mahama administration had a hand in the bidding of this. When I took over as Minister for Youth and Sports, my first interaction was with Rex Dankwa. And my first listening to him was for him to brief me on what we have done so far towards the bidding and the hosting of the African Games. So he gave me a good brief. We sat down and we developed a paper to His Excellency the President. Cabinet gave his support, and we went to Senegal and went for the bidding. We had competitions. We had 7 other countries who had bidded. But finally, after our presentation, 2 countries, I think it is Zimbabwe and South Africa, withdrew their bid in support of our bid. I won't brag about it, I won't boast about it, but I'm saying, because the briefing I had from Rex Dankwa over the period, it was I had a whole African Games story as my own story, so I could easily narrate it. He developed a very beautiful concept paper. And Randy,
he's an authority.
A lot of the funding was not going to depend on Ghana government. A lot of the funding from Rex Dankwa was not going to depend on the Ghana government. He developed the sponsorship scheme. You know, he's done a lot of sponsorship packages for sports in the past. He developed a sponsorship scheme through GMPC, the extractive industry, and all those ones. And then he developed the one that we can seek from GOC, ANOCA, and the international sports federations too. And then you look at private involvement. And so government's contribution by our concept paper was going to be just about 15%, 15 to 17% of the total budget for the hosting of the games. And then because it was very essential to the government of the time, John Mahama himself said that between 2017 and 2018, we should be able to put in place the fundraising team to start raising funds even before we go into. And you know, we had some form of infrastructure already. We had the University of Ghana stadium, the uncompleted one, which was then around 70%. And then we've also started work on the Bukom Boxing Emporium. Through NDK, we're going to have 4 Astro pitches, all named after Professor Mills. We're going to do Professor Mills Complex for hockey.
Where?
In fact, we're going to look at somewhere around the Botema area, the same place. So it was going to be 2 main pitches for competition, and then we're going to have 2 pitches for training. And NDK was leading the he bringing together some members within the hockey fraternity in positions like Ben Asante and all those people to come together to contribute to the development of those pitches. So the focus was not going to build these Astro pitches you see around everywhere, some of them not having use. But the focus was going to be on using the money from government to put up infrastructure that is geared towards successful hosting of the African Games. So if we're building another indoor facility, that money that today is being spent on throwing around AstroTurfs around, some of them of no purpose, that money will be used to build a multi-purpose indoor facility. And between 2018 and 2020, we're then going to look at what we call properly the Games Village, going with the people within the hospitality industry. And for example, I know that there was a discussion with somebody like Volta Serene to be able to see how we can build an hospitality industry as a link to the games. So after the games, that facility becomes a public-private partnership. So all these we developed. Unfortunately, we lost elections. And in the national interest, I was thinking that those who took over will continue with the dream and the concept that had been developed by Rex. But unfortunately, Rex was shoved off, it was pushed aside, and everything was taken over. To some extent, you will be able to embark on a journey. But when that journey was not actually conceptualized by you, you may not be able to predict the obstacles and the challenges you see on the way. But when the person has traversed that path and know the junctions and where the rivers are, where the hills are, the person will know how to embark on that journey better. And I think no matter what people perceive as the political persuasion of Rex Dankwa, he should have been part of the development.
But he did come 2008. He wasn't an NDC government. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Rex's desire to help the organization of sports in this country goes beyond political alliance. And I don't know any Ghanaian who can tell me Rex's political colors. I don't know. I don't know whether you related to him. I don't know whether you know. Yes. And I don't know. But, and so, we started the games all right. We have given all our support. For example, members of parliament, especially our side, we pushed really for the passing of the anti-doping bill, for example, which was one of the necessities you need to put in place before you host the games. Other than that, all these qualifying things that we are doing, standards and all, would not be accepted by the International Olympic Committee. So BT Baba and the rest all pushed, and we passed it. The minister came to Parliament, briefed us before the games. Randy, my response and in reaction, I did plead with Mr. Speaker, I did plead with the minister, I did plead with the whole Ghana, that if there's one area we should look at critically, Randy, was the issue of reliable electricity to the facilities. Because we're living in times when Doomsor has started. So I knew that these issues will happen. And so I implored the minister and said, look, for anything at all, let's provide gen sets, mobile gen sets for these facilities so that in case the national grid goes off, the foreign athletes will not have a problem.
Are you suggesting that we don't have gen sets at the venues?
Well, I don't know. If we had, Randy, why would the whole games village go off light? And then athletes, the foreign athletes will have to walk out of their rooms, come and sit on the streets, come and relax on the streets, and all those things. If we had.
Maybe a technical problem.
Well, technical problem.
Maybe.
Randy, we had lights going off during a match.
Yeah.
We've had 2 incidents of this, lights going off during matches. We had lights going off during presentations. So all these things are happening and taking something away from the games. It means technically we're not ready. And looking at the fact that we even asked for extension of time, Randy, it doesn't make sense for us today to have a situation where we are presenting medals and look at the podium which was used. I believe you saw it. The podium with A4 sheet.
I think it was. It wasn't at Botema. I think it was some.
Yes, but
some place they did
Randy,
something.
That's
because at Botema you have the.
Randy, that's some
the
place,
Olympic
yes,
standard.
That some place is part of the games.
True.
So
it was
you
an official ceremony. Anyway.
Yes, official ceremony. So all these things should have been looked at. You should mark them before the day. Do your rehearsals, tick all these things, mark all the boxes before the games. Yes.
Okay.
Randy, how do you feel as a Ghanaian seeing this? Don't you feel embarrassed?
Was that Jerry Ahmed?
I should think so. Yeah, I should think so. He's the chairman of the Weightlifting Association.
So it was medals for weightlifting. That's
yes.
the Ghanaian lady who had the gold.
To me. Oh. Yeah, this is one of the girls we developed.
You were.
Are you the president of the Weightlifting Association? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I handed over to Benunu Mensah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Randy, it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. Randy, let me give you another one. I don't know whether you had the video for the 800 meters. Randy, sachet water. Sachet water packs have been placed by the tracks, and after the race was given to the athletes to cool down.
Could it be that it's Olympic standard or something? Maybe that's what is. Maybe that's what is officially prescribed.
Randy, you mean Ghana as a country could not get one of these water companies?
No, I'm just asking. Maybe technically, the athletes must be given sachet water, not
to do what?
I don't know.
Randy, football matches, will you recommend that?
Oh, local games, some people use it. That one is an issue of.
Heart of Lions don't use it.
It's an issue of Kudi.
But Ghana.
Yeah.
We've given the LOC money. So there's absolutely no recommendation.
Those who ran the race,
yes,
when they were giving sachet water.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know whether you have that. It's on my
Maybe
phone.
that's the sponsor.
The sachet water was the sponsor.
Maybe the company.
Yeah. It's an embarrassment. It's total embarrassment. The hockey pitch that has brought this issue, Randy. 2 years ago, the ministry said they spent money to renovate it to host the Africa Club Championship. Yes, truly, last year when we had the Professor Mills Memorial Heritage Program, we played hockey as part of celebrating Professor Mills, the 10 years. And we went there and we saw some renovation done. Randy, it is expected that when you're going to have a tournament like this, you do a total evaluation of the facility. Even though 2 years ago, you renovated it for club championship, This is not club championship. This is African Games. And you should understand that the level is higher than club championship. It was only prudent for somebody to go. And I am informed that some money was given for the renovation of the Theodosia Okun Memorial Park. And to bring it to the standard expected of the African Games. So for the South Africans to say that the pitch is bad, it will cause injury and the rest, Randy, it calls for questioning. What I think the government has failed to do through the LOC is that they only focused on Boteman and the University of Ghana.
Were South Africans perhaps not asking for too much?
Randy.
And if you read their statement, they also make the point that, look, in any case, we've already qualified for the Olympics. Our doctors say that we will be endangering of our athletes. I mean, I'm sure that if they had not qualified for the Olympics, they would have...
South Africans always qualify.
Yeah, I'm saying that if they had not qualified...
They would have played
at this time. They would have played to qualify.
Yeah, but
because I'm told that the hockey started and the countries are playing.
Yes, but you see, they have qualified. The other countries need to play and also try and qualify.
Yeah, so they are playing.
Yeah, but Randy, the health of their players as they are qualified for Olympics is more important to them at this point. They are using the championship as a sort of training for their Olympics. South Africa, when it comes to hockey, is one of the most respected countries in the world. You know, so their players.
So this is what they said. They say that, quote, over and above making this decision, our SC Hockey Federation consulted with Sports Flooring Warehouse, a South African-based specialist in carpet laying and an FIH recognized service provider. They've also advised us, having analyzed the images we shared with them, that the field is not satisfactory and may cause harm to the athletes. The rescheduling of the hockey competition on 3 numerous occasions has in addition caused an inconvenience to us logistically as a team, where we had to arrange for both teams to fly to Ghana in time for the commencement of the competition. And they say that they claim that they had assurances that there will be test events.
Thank you.
To assess the readiness of the hockey pitch, but these tests didn't happen, which does not meet the FIH field certification guidelines. Okay, so these were the issues that they raised.
Recently, you remember the Black Stars?
Yes.
You had a match.
Yes.
What happened? The field you proposed to play the match.
Yes.
CAF said they are not to standard. You see, every sport has a standard.
I've just been informed that, in fact, there's a press release. You're cordially invited to a media conference with the president of the African Hockey Federation, Mr. Saif Ahmed. The African Hockey Federation will address the withdrawal of the South African male and female hockey teams from the 13th African Games. The details of the program are as follows: 10 a.m. day Tuesday 19th, that's today, there's an Okor hockey pitch. So that's it. So they say they are going on.
Randy,
they're having a press
for the mere fact that testing was not done, that's what I was saying. We didn't test all the facilities. Randy, if we tested the facilities, like the facility, what we saw with the weightlifting, the podium, would not have happened. It means that even after 8 months, when we asked for more time, we were still not ready. Randy, if you go to Boteman, at the start of the games, there were painting going on. Sometimes I've seen many situations where painting could be happening. Yeah. But then to have such a situation where Theodosia Okun, they wanted to have experimental days, play on the pitch, look at the level of the pitch. Look, seriously, I walk on the pitch, Randy, to play hockey on that pitch.
Yeah, but it's difficult. We're also doing Africa a favor. I mean, in these difficult times, I mean, how many African countries can spend that kind of money to host a tournament? They should also appreciate the fact that we're also doing Africa a favor.
Well, but if you bid for a tournament, you do your evaluation, your financial and also evaluation before you bid for the tournament. And so if you bid and you are given a host, what you have to do is to make sure that you bring standards that is acceptable to all.
Or you withdraw.
Like, nobody forced us.
Like Australia or New Zealand.
Yes, the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
Randy, nobody forced us. Nobody put the gun to our heads to say accept to host by force. We put in a bid. It took years. We lobbied and we got it. Even when we started, look, do you remember some people were talking about the fact that the economic situation in the country was said that the government should withdraw? That people think that it was not prudent enough to use almost $240-something million when we are giving people haircuts. You know, all these are, but we thought that, look, Ghana being the beacon of African unity and, let me say, also being the black star when it comes to sports, it will be unwise to pull out at this time. And then, you see, when you are pulling out at critical situations like that, there must be a country that is ready to take up when you fail. And I don't think at that time, if you talk today, African countries that will have the facility, that will have the time, the money, everything to be able to take up and say Ghana has pulled out, will have been maybe Morocco, who just hosted, will have been maybe South Africa, who have the facility, or to some extent Kenya. And the Kenyans were not ready. The Kenyans have just hosted World 7 Series. You understand? So they were not ready to host any other sporting event that will put a lot of pressure on their economy. So what I'm saying that our people were not ready. They were not ready in the sense that we only took up the responsibility when it got to the time that we saw that time is almost up. We decided to do some things and then get it ready. And we focused too much on Boteman.
But even Boteman, we took out the 50,000
stadium.
Because we thought that it was going to delay us.
Yes, we took out that stadium. And so it begs to understand how we could still have these simple challenges coming up. Because I don't know how much it would have taken us to address the issue of the hockey pitch. And I know that money was voted for the hockey pitch.
Yeah, but maybe release. You know, in this country, people use, when you sit in parliament, we hear huge sums. At the end of the year, when we check the releases, we realize that...
That is only to the ministries.
Yes.
The Minister of Sports told us in parliament that all the monies have been released to them.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And you see, Randy, when we finish this tournament, things will come out.
Really?
There are some other things we don't want to say now because it will further disturb the environment and the chemistry of the games. A lot of rotten things have been done with these games. A lot of rotten things have been done. Many people have been quiet because we want the games to be over. We want the people to leave, and then all of us can put, what I can say that the cutlasses on ourselves and do the butchering of ourselves. But we can't do it in the midst of visitors and international congregations and delegations. The truth of the matter is that a lot has gone wrong. When you talk to the federation heads, Randy, they're not happy. They were not given the support they required. Look, 2 months to this tournament, the weightlifting team was in my office. They could not get their training materials. They could not get their weights ready. The facility was bad. They could not train where they were supposed to be training. They were not getting their supplements.
Were they not part of the group that went to Cape Coast?
Yes, they went to Cape Coast at the last instant. And that is why I say that. But for Cape Coast Stadium, that John Mahama built would have been in difficulties because a lot of the athletes were in Cape Coast and using the facility for camping. The boxers were there, the athletes were there. So that should have told...
So the boxing competition is at...
Arena. And
Emporium.
even the Arena, the Emporium, what happened is that they only focus on maintaining the boxing part.
Okay.
You understand? I thought this was an opportunity for us to invest something into what has been built. And
there's a swimming part.
There's a swimming pool.
There's a basketball part.
Yes. Initially, the intention was to use the swimming pool. But we didn't have a place for warm-up pool.
Okay. Which is a requirement.
A requirement.
Yeah.
Recently, we did the Supreme Council for Sports in Africa Zone 3 swimming championship there. And that was a good preparatory grounds for Abeku, for example. Let's talk about Abeku. People are celebrating. If you ask the investment of the father himself in Abeku and not the nation.
Abeku as a kid was with us in Maputo in 2011.
Yes.
When Edu Asari was the swimming chair.
Yeah. Thank you. the father has personally taken personal interest to the extent that through his son, he has now assumed the position of the presidency of the swimming association. Yes. But his whole interest has been his son. And I look at him and I look at him and say, he was my mate at the fans' school. I said, old boy, you know, for 20 years, he said Tiger Woods' father made him Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is making his son the second Tiger Woods. I would definitely, if I wasn't able to swim, to achieve a national, international laurels, I would make Abeku. Look at Abeku. Into me and all these weightlifters, we call, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's like, Randy, we expect so much from sportsmen and athletes without a corresponding investment.
We want to
in
reap
them.
where we've not sown. Okay.
We are celebrating. Into me, look, arm wrestling has given us how many medals? 41.
Yes.
41. Arm wrestling in this country has been the baby of Charles Osasibe. It's like he's the only one carrying it. Beach soccer, Yapo Fankra, taking it as his own baby, going around with cap in arms, soliciting for funds. You know, his personal funds is going to it. Osasibe sometimes comes to me and he's crying because he needs maybe 10 cities, 20 cities to sponsor one of the athletes who want to go to this and do that. And it's difficult. It's not getting it from anywhere. But today, 41 medals we are celebrating from arm wrestling alone. It's something that calls for investigation. For us, Randy, not really as a source of wanting to, let me say, expose people, but also as a learning curve for us and see what we need to do for our sportsmen and women if we really desire that they compete for the nation at various fora.
So as sports minister, what was your experience with respect to this? Because the underfunding of this, many of these
Sporting disciplines.
Yes, I mean, it's been there. I mean, people, you were minister. What is it? What is it that is making it difficult?
Randy, let me say this. As a country, we've lived with a wrong notion that sports is football and football is sports. So 90% of the funding from the ministry really go into football. Yes, I agree that football is the passion of the nation. But Randy, I also agree that if we think that football brings us together, football can be used for an industry which will bring some for earnings to us, then we should have a special attention for football and also have a special attention for the other disciplines. Because Randy,
have you ever had a discussion with Mr. Ernest Thompson about his proposal of a sports fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we've had a discussion, and it was something that we're going to look at if John Mahama's government has stayed in power in 2017. It was it's a novelty, and we're going to look at it critically to see how we could utilize other means in order to make sure that funding, that little funding from government is used prudently, but then the main funding source, because if you go to South Africa, the main funding source of sports development and promotion is not by government, corporate industry. If you go to Morocco now, yes. If you go to Kenya, yes. Kenya slowly is moving away from central government funding of sports to private funding and corporate funding. Government cannot do it alone, but I think still government is not doing enough. Because when you look at the budget of the Ministry of Youth and Sports and what it entails to be able to fairly manage and promote sports, what is given to us is adequately impossible to achieve anything.
All right, okay, we'll continue with the discussion, but I'm told that Parliament has received a love letter from President Akufo-Addo. Okay, and it has to do with LGBTQ+. By the way, have you heard people say that your constituency, our constituency, and
Don't refer me to Professor Gajepo.
and part of Ablikuma.
Yes.
Have you ever heard that those places being described as the HQ of LGBTQ plus activities?
Yes, and it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Okay.
I won't run away from it.
We'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show is the Honorable Neelante Vanderpoy, Member of Parliament for the Ododo-Diodio constituency. And for those who joined us much later, the Honorable Reverend Ntim Fojo, John Ntim Fojo, was scheduled to be with us on the show. He called just about when we're starting the show, but he won't be able to make it. All right, now, what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, us got the Mola, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now, pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and it's not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayasoko, that Kosombo dam be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. It's not for persons under 18, and this is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested and tried. It is indeed the best. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 055 001 0000. All right, so, Honorable, we'll come back to the issue of the headquarters. But Parliament unanimously passed the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, unanimously. Okay. Now, we heard the issues raised by the Ministry of Finance that we're being threatened, withdrawal of some funding and all that, and will the president sign, will he not sign? Then bam, we saw this letter late last night. And it's signed by Nana Bidiotu Asante, Secretary to the President, and is addressed to the Clerk to Parliament. Attention, Mr. Cyril K. Winsia. The Vice President, the Chief of Staff, the Attorney General, the Minister for Justice, and the Majority Leader are in copy. Now, it says transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. It has come to the attention of this office that while the President and other senior officials of the presidency were at Peduasi for a cabinet retreat on Thursday, 14th March 2024, you attempted, and please underline that word, attempted. It says you attempted to submit the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024 to Jubilee House for the President to signify his assent or otherwise to the bill. The office is aware of 2 pending applications for an order of interlocutory injunction, both filed on the 7th of March 2024 in the Supreme Court in Dr. Armando Dre versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General, and Richard Sky versus the Parliament of Ghana and the Attorney General, respectively, to restrain you and Parliament from transmitting the bill to the President, and also to restrain the President from signifying his assent to the bill, pending the final determination of the matter. The Attorney General has by letter dated 18th March 2024, that's the same day, informed the president that he has been duly served with both applications and has advised the president not to take any step in relation to the bill until the matters raised by the suits are determined by the Supreme Court. It is the understanding of this office that both applications have also been duly served on Parliament. Therefore, it will be improper for you to transmit the bill to the president, and equally improper for this office to receive the bill until the Supreme Court determines the matters raised in the suits. Indeed, it is settled law that during the pendency of an interlocutory injunction application, the status quo ante ought to be preserved, and no action should be taken that will result in prejudicing the injunctive relief sought and undermining the authority of the court. In the circumstances, you are kindly requested to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the president until the matters before the Supreme Court are resolved. Now, why I said attempted is because the first paragraph suggests that Parliament has tried to submit the thing, and the presidency has refused to take it.
Yes.
Because it says that the president and other senior officials are present at Peduase. Now, does the president and senior officials need to be present at the Jubilee House for Parliament to submit a document to the Jubilee House? Or if the president, if cabinet has a retreat, is the Jubilee House closed, locked and closed for business or any other thing? But look, it is the position of the president, and he says that it is settled law that during the pendency of an interlocutory injunction application, the status quo ante ought to be preserved. So this is a warning letter to Parliament that don't attempt, if you do not understand the law and if you do not know what settled law is, don't make an attempt to come and bring anything to the president. I didn't think I would live to see a letter written this way, the language and everything. But, well, you guys are Parliament.
Randy, let me say this. I am not surprised at all that such a letter is coming from the office of Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP government.
You know, I was going to crack a joke that I thought that it was only the GFA that will always lock the gates that they don't want to be served. I didn't know that Jubilee House.
You know, Randy, I'm not surprised because over the period, we've seen a posture of arrogance and a posture of dishonesty surrounding the presidency in all their dealings since they took over the reins of this government. We've had a very decent governance system over the period where people have respected the other arms of government and have dealt with them on equal level and within the confines of law. But this government have shown that apart from the presidency, no other arm of government is important or worth their respect and, let me say, dignifying. This is not the first letter that has been written in a very shabby, disrespectful, and arrogant manner towards the legislature. But this one has come to the end. And what I see is that the Akufo-Addo government and the presidency are really hurt by the passing of this particular bill. And in spite of all the attempts they made to frustrate Parliament from passing it, Parliament has passed it, and the onus of responsibility in it becoming a law is now on the presidency. And the presidency, instead of using tact and diplomacy, what we call a sensible and intelligent way of negotiation and building harmony in governance and in corporate development, they have decided to use what we call in our local parlance, takashi. They want to use buga buga, they want to use, power. Some politicians will describe it as absolute power. But one thing they must also understand, that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And they ended up corrupting themselves absolutely with these words they have used. And everybody has seen how abusive they are. If you start a letter, no matter, Randy, no matter what level, I think, Randy, even you will not want to write a letter to your subordinate and start with the sort of word you see in the first paragraph, attempted to submit. When it is the person's responsibility under the Constitution, Article 107, tells us what Parliament should do after a bill has been passed for the President to assent. So Parliament only try to do what their constitutional mandate stipulates. That after this number of days, the Parliament have to send the bill to the Presidency for its assent. And that's what Parliament tried to do. So for you to qualify it as attempt, that somebody attempted, I see the person was using the back door.
Yeah.
I see the person was engaging in any nefarious activity. But the person was working within the limits of the law. The person was legitimately undertaking the function and the mandate that is spelled out in the Constitution. And if you intentionally decide to have a presidential retreat in order to avoid being served, you don't classify or qualify what Parliament did as an attempt. That is one. Randy, if you come to the last paragraph, and that's where I'm more angry, and I think when we go to Parliament this morning, I know the reaction will be very obvious. People are really, really disturbed about the language, the tone of the words used in the last paragraph. To cease. Is the president telling us to cease communicating to the presidency?
They cease and desist.
And desist from. It's only, let me say, a dictator is only Idi Amin like president or head of state who will use these words on a legitimately mandated arm of government. You understand? Desist, cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the president. Is Asante Bediato telling Parliament to cease respecting the Constitution?
This is the president telling you. Bediato is only...
Yeah. So the president is telling us, to disrespect the Constitution.
The president says that there is an interlocutory injunction application.
Notice of.
And that
is a notice.
Well, what he is saying.
In fact, the statement of the case have not even been
which means that the president is wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, but I'm saying that in his letter, he suggests that there is that application, that it is settled law. And therefore, you ought to know better, especially a parliament that is headed by a lawyer.
But the presidency that is headed by a lawyer doesn't need to know more. The president is a lawyer.
So that is why he appreciates that you should not be attempting to.
No, but the fact still remains that our constitutional mandate cannot be held in hostage.
Because of this application?
Yes, because of this application. Then why did the president sign the year-level bill into law when there was a pending application in court?
Maybe he didn't know.
The president didn't know.
So
he can pretend to know certain things and pretend not to know certain things. That's the hypocrisy and the dishonesty about this particular government that I've always talked about since 2017. They are so dishonest about things. You, the president, who decided that the year-levy is so important to you, and as such, even you were so much in a hurry, I think the president were calling the parliament, the clerk of parliament, to submit it for his signature. He did. Today, let me ask a simple question. There is a notice of injunction on the presidency and on parliament from approving the nominations of the president for ministerial appointments.
Are you talking about the Honorable Defam Akpo case?
Yes. Is the president saying that because of that, Parliament should not approve his ministers?
You can choose to go the president's
because
way.
If you said the president.
If you agree with the legal principle that he's standing on,
yes,
you can also decide to do that.
Randy, that is a recipe for disaster in this country.
So that
the president
so what we are being told is that anytime that Parliament takes a decision or is going to take a decision, and somebody goes to court, everything must cease.
Must cease. You can't muzzle the legislature. The legislature is the representatives of the people. So the president is telling us that he, the president, is more important than all Ghanaians put together, represented by their people in Parliament. The constitution is bigger than the president. The president, we are not living in an absolute monarchy. We are not living in a dictatorial regime where constitutions are not respected. We are living in a constitutional democracy where the constitution of the country, the 1992 constitution, must be respected in all its terms and its tenets and in its spirit. And as such, the president should have asked Parliament to submit the bill and say, because you've submitted it, fine. But under my constitutional mandate, I've been informed there's a legal case pending, so I'm unable to sign until that case is dealt with. But to ask Parliament not to even attempt to submit it.
First of all, that first paragraph clearly demonstrates that everybody at the Jubilee House has been instructed
not to accept
anything.
Yes.
Because the only way you can say Parliament is attempting is that there was a person or a courier from Parliament who, as they always do, came to,
submit.
Yes. And people had been asked not to receive any such thing.
Yes.
So they declined to receive
it. And Parliament tried to insist on leaving it behind, and they refused to take it.
So that is why I say Parliament attempted.
Yes. Because if he has said that, we've taken note of that Parliament, in our absence, Parliament submitted the letter.
But which absence? After the absence, it doesn't.
I'm saying, if you want to be very diplomatic in your language, say that we've been notified of the Parliament dropping a letter of this thing in my absence. But to say that Parliament attempted means that there was a rigorous refusal on the part of the presidency to make it impossible for Parliament to submit. And that alone is averse to the Constitution. That alone it tells us that the presidency has disrespected the Constitution. Because the Constitution says clear that Parliament must submit. It said Parliament shall. That's what I think this thing shall submit to the president 14 days. It said after 14 days, the president is not happy. He has the right to, through the advice of the Council of State, resubmit it to Parliament. And Parliament shall have 21 days to deliberate on it and see whether we can incorporate the recommendations made by the president. So in actual fact, the Constitution does not give the president any avenue to refuse to sign into law any bill that is passed by Parliament. There was a whole scheme about this. Randy, you remember very well. Even when the president first reacted to the passage of the bill, citing the court cases, there was no pending case. In fact, the president's letter came before the date that the case was filed in court. So we're asking, did the president preempt the filing of the case in court? Did the presidency know anything about that case? That the presidency should know that somebody is going to court and issue a letter before that case was even filed in the first place. That notice was filed in the first place. So you could see that the president never expected us to go that route. And we've gone that route, and it's made the presidency very uneasy. It's made the presidency very uncomfortable. And what they want to do is to, as much as possible, give a blow. They want to kill the bill before it, or the best thing the presidency is trying to do, I can see Akufo-Addo and Bawumia doing, is cleverly avoid the assent to this particular bill and throw it onto John Mahama when John Mahama becomes president. So that he will not be blamed by his financiers and so-called friends out there who have always manipulated him in a way to assent to or to accede to the fact that we should permit this particular behavior, this particular sexual preference to prevail in this country. Look, the truth of the matter is that the presidency should know that we already know that he has been dishonest about this. Let me tell you this. When the president went and had an interview outside, his posture in that interview was that, oh, it's bound to happen when there is enough advocacy for it. It could happen. When he came to Ghana and he met the Methodist Church at, I think there was a program in Ashanti region, he said, it will not happen under my presidency. That will not happen. Look at his posture.
But what he said really was that the legalization of it will not happen. Sometimes people don't realize that the two are not the same.
Legalizing
proscribing it and legalizing it, they are not the same.
Yes. Yes.
So the fact that I will not legalize it
doesn't mean I will prescribe it.
Yes, but I will also not prescribe it.
That's exactly what he said. So what I'm saying is that, but then, you see, that one was to satisfy a particular constituency. And then when he was outside, his language was more diplomatic and to satisfy that constituency outside. So the president himself has been very dishonest when it comes to this particular issue. So his whole posture, I see, is that let me not take the responsibility of being the one whose tenure this thing became proscribed, or let me also take the responsibility of not hurting the feelings of my people by sitting down and allowing the prescription.
But this gymnastics, I mean, people can see through, people will be able to read through, I mean, to be honest.
Randy, but you know, this is a government, this is a political party, a political persuasion that have always been able to use language, lies, you know, let me say, cliches, political jargons, to be able to sway the mindset of many Ghanaians. And they think they can continue to do that all the time. So all this they are doing, as you can see, I know you can do that. Just scan through or keep track with all the communicators of government and their reaction to this. And you will see that these are people who are bent on using sweet words to deceive people to think that the president is right in all that he has done. I'm being frank with you. You will not get one of them coming out to say that they agree with the fact that the president said.
We are with the response of Parliament.
I think it will be swift and it will be very, let me say, reactionary, and it will be very, in the same language he has used, very disrespectful to his position as president. I think it is time the Parliament would disrespect the president as much as he disrespects us. Yes. I think it is time, as a legislature, we disrespect the president as much as he disrespects us. In US, when Donald Trump decided to disrespect the Senate, what did the Senate do? They disrespected him to prove to him that we have equal powers under the Constitution. Just that he's an executive and we are the legislature. And as such, he must accord to us the same decorum and respect that we should accord to the presidency. But in a situation whereby he thinks that Parliament is just a group of people he can trample upon, look down upon, we also reserve the right to look down upon the presidency and treat him the same way.
All right, okay. So, Honorable, let me thank you.
Thank you so much for having me
this morning. Thanks. Up next, GMG Trends. All right, so he's back. And welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending with a man who is trending. The sea, the star boy.
Look, it's good to be back. Yeah.
Were you on a fattening course?
Oh, I thought they said I'd reduced a little bit.
Who told you that?
Oh, people they talk.
Who? Who? See your cheeks, the back of your neck. Just 2 weeks.
Yes. If you're just sleeping. Oh yeah. I'm talking from experience. So, Hi guys, I'm back. Shouts to Bright though for holding the fort down for me. But I went away and it really hurt me that once I was away, we're having a lot of interesting things with respect to the Independence Day celebration. The dance and things.
The matching.
The match man.
This is digital one.
It's like digitalization, match. But anyway, so right from Saturday from Sunday, Monday, Bongo Ideas has been trending on Twitter. He's still in the trends. Kwame Eugene is still in the trends after what happened on Sunday night, and of course today, Osajifo Nana Kwame Bediako is also trending.
Who's that?
Oh, Nana Kwame Bediako is also Osajifo. Cheddar.
Is his new title?
Yes.
Who gave him that?
Obeji Ghana mine.
Okay.
And Kan Kumasi mine.
Okay.
He's currently in Kumasi.
Oh, okay.
And that is where he says that he is going to dredge a sea.
He's going to do what?
Dredge a sea to make, a port for the people of Kumasi.
He will dredge which sea?
Or the sea, or the pool, Kumasi Krum. For a port.
Oh, maybe he was joking with some friends or something.
What? He was on radio, multiple platforms.
He will dredge which sea?
He'll bring a sea to Kumasi, artificial sea.
How?
Oh, say, port. He said that the period of containers. No. See a trim. We
need to building an inland port at Buankra.
At Buankra, so it's okay.
Yeah, on your way to Kumasi, say you go past there, you get to Buankra before you get to Tech. So obviously you. Why you didn't want the public to know that you spent the 2 weeks in Kumasi.
Okay, so back to Cheddar. So Cheddar says that he will dredge, a sea for the people of Kumasi to do, port business and all that. He says that very, very important.
No, see.
Let me just.
You can only dredge something that exists.
Yes.
So there's a sea.
Yes.
Then you can dredge it. So, which sea is in Kumasi?
You put the comments on social media, and then I'm just going to read some of the comments there and just get some more details. So that's you. So, Yabodo Ibafo says, Nana Kwame is selling dreams. I am surprised you chose Kumasi to joke. The most realistic target is getting more dry ports with an effective train system to transport goods to and fro. Okay, this one says that in the midst of all these chats, I just want to know whether it be Freedom Jacob Caesar in the talk or Nana Kwame Bediako, because they are two different things. Okay, let's move on to the next tweet. This one says, okay, let's move on to the next tweet. Okay. So he is going to extend the sea to Kumasi. Says that Nana Kwame Bediako is a visionary and ambitious person, but as a matter of fact, Ghana does not need the sea at Kumasi now. So he's going to dredge the sea and extend it to Kumasi. So, yes. In terms of your
extend it how? By road?
I know the urban or better.
So let's say the sea at the Independence Square.
Yes.
He will dredge it.
Yes.
And how will he send it to Kumasi?
I will extend the sea from Ghana's coast.
Sky train to carry it or what?
I bet it's not kakra. Now one there.
Please, you go on.
Okay. So, dog, you know go for work.
Huh?
You know go work. Oh, Osajifo. Obeje of my Ghana. Yes. All right, so he's trending on Twitter this morning with this particular one. A lot of they are divided, some say it will be work because making Dubai the example.
Yes.
That as a desert,
Yes.
they've been able to make that. So that's what he wants to do in Kumasi.
So explain it. And in any case, why? Look, let's just move on. Maybe you have an opportunity to explain yourself better. And then,
Media quoting what he said. I will dredge to get the sea to Kumasi, so we can bring ships here. It's 2024. We can't be dragging containers to Kumasi. Okay.
So what it means is that the sea will be extended
Yes, that's what. Yes.
to Kumasi,
To Kumasi.
so that the ships
Yes.
can come. So there will be a Kumasi port
Yes.
where the ships come.
Yes. But how
They
would-
sail
Yeah.
and get there.
Yeah.
So when the ships get to Takrady or Tema,
Yes.
then they
They'll
continue
continue and they'll go to Kumasi.
Kumasi.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that they'll go through a Duke coffee?
How's it do? You know the way from Chakari to Kumasi. Anyway, you go feel happy, you go feel do You go feel do. Anyway, let's talk about Kwame Eugene because on Sunday night, something awful happened at the that's Jowulu CP, just around the multi-choice area where he ran his Range Rover to the back of a truck.
Hey.
Yes, on Sunday night around 11:30 p.m.
Whoa.
Yes.
Was he driving?
Yes, he was driving, and so you'll be seeing the video on the screen a bit Sunday night, and he was taken to UGMC, and yesterday Link Sentiments released a statement that they have heard the news and it's true, and for now he's recuperating
Wow.
at UGMC. So can't Range Rover, no? And he had just come down from London after a lot.
But is he okay?
Yeah, I understand that he's getting better.
Was he the only person in the car?
He was in the car with another person, but it was his side of the vehicle that really got. The other person just complained of
badly mangled.
headache and I understand that his arm and some bruises and all that. On that stretch, Doc, there are no lights, and the truck that was moving had no tail lights.
Okay.
So, according to the eyewitness who actually took Kwame Eugene, he's a media person, one of my guys. So he's called Emmanuel Ajafo of Modern Ghana. He said that Kwame Eugene wasn't speeding, but of course it's a sports car, so the level of the speed is a little bit. And the truck was moving in front of him, but at a very slow pace and without taillights and the streets being dark. He just crashed into the truck. But we thank God that he's okay.
We thank God.
Yeah.
I'm sure the insurance will take care of the rest.
Yeah, and the light too, the street lights. Before I was going, I was talking about Spanner to Okponglo Junction, where the All African Games or the African Games is happening. No street lights on that stretch. Makwaba still 1 year. Boteman, motorway to Boteman, still no lights on there.
The lights, are you saying the lights are not working?
Oh, that
Or they've not been installed?
That and it's also
Okay.
There's nothing on there, and it's a really, really, sad thing that we need to fix. Our roads are really, really, really dark. So we wish him well. We pray that he comes out of this. Kwame Eugene there. Let me wrap up with a gentleman that I know a lot of people are not happy about him, but he's in the trend. So I have to talk about him. Bongo ideas. Oh, news came out that he had been forcefully taken from his home.
He's been abducted.
Well, we can use that word. Abducted. The police released a statement that they didn't arrest him. National Security, they said they haven't arrested him. Until he says,
But where is he?
Now, the police in their statement said that he was home.
How did they know that he was home?
Per the statement that the police released, they said that people had mentioned the Ghana police that because a niece to him mentioned that the people came in wearing uniform.
I find something strange. So you have family members of the guy.
Yeah.
saying that some unknown persons,
Yes.
or some persons who claimed they were security people, came to pick him up.
Yes.
Okay. The police has released a statement that they haven't done it.
They haven't done it.
The National Security Secretariat has released a statement that they had no hand in it.
No hand in it, yes.
Okay, so what happened?
And yeah, some.
No, because you see, the police administration itself must be interested, because if you even make false allegations, it is
Yes.
a crime. And if indeed it were some private persons who
That
picked
had
them
done
up,
that, yeah.
that is also an offense. So whichever way, the police ought to be interested in what happened.
Yeah.
So that if it was a hoax, all those who, this is causing fear and panic.
Yeah.
So all those who were responsible for that hoax ought to be dealt with by law.
True.
If indeed it was not the regular security agencies, and there were some other people
persons
who also picked them up, that is a criminal offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has absolutely nothing to do with what the guy writes or does not write.
Yeah. True.
If you claim that you've been abducted or you've been kidnapped or you've been whatever, and you even suggest that it's people linked to the security agencies, that is an issue which must be investigated.
Yeah.
And if you're lying, the law must deal with you.
Must deal with you.
If it is true and it's not the security agencies who did it, nobody also has the right to go and pick up somebody or people from their residence and go and do to them what they want to
whatever they
bring
want
them
to
back.
do to them. Yeah.
So whichever way, the police, the point I'm trying to make is that it's not
The
enough
police
for
has to be interested in
it's
them.
not enough for the police to say
Yeah.
that we haven't picked him up.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure definitely they'll be following through on that, and then we'll see what happens with that particular one.
But has he spoken?
No.
Or written since he
No,
came?
per his, a lot of people on Twitter, they like to take advantage of it and now make posts and create accounts.
Fake accounts.
Yeah, fake accounts and all that. But his account is a verified one, and so he hasn't posted anything about 4 days ago. That was when he posted, or 5 days ago. Yeah, so we'll
He
see.
hasn't posted since he was.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, we are finding that.
Okay, so someone says that someone should give us Bongo's location so we can go and visit him and show him love. I'm sure he has learned his lesson. I'm sure this is a very sarcastic one. And this one says, Bongo this, Bongo that. Just look at this and you want me to feel sorry for him. That guy is so heartless. What's happening to him is even small compared to what he has done. From shaking people's marriages to body shaming and disrespecting.
So he's a cyber bully.
Well, I know there.
Is that who he is?
Yeah, that one there. That one there. On a civilized grounds, we understand what he went through isn't, but the person we are talking about here is Bongo Ideas, and you are telling me to feel sorry for him. Okay. Yeah, so.
He must have hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. From Davido to Asamaja. The guy they write things. He really they write things. But anyway, irrespective of what he has written.
Is he a young person? Is he an older person?
Yeah. Oh, this Bongo's Ideas guy was that guy who met Bridget Nanaba.
Oh, you showed that video?
Yes.
Oh, he's a young guy?
Yes, that young guy.
Oh, he's the person who's been writing all those. Oh, okay.
He's the one who's been writing.
I see.
Yes. Twitter is not real life. Anyway, so those are some of the things going on social media today. Of course, the African Games also training. Benjamin Azamati making way to the finals. The Black Princesses also won yesterday against, that is their Senegalese counterparts. And of course, the arm wrestling team also giving us a lot of medals in there. For the other win that happened in the GPO, I won't talk about it.
Accra Hearts of Oak and Heart of Lions. Hearts 1-2-1. So why don't you want to talk about it?
No, we are didn't say anything.
But that's the news.
Oh, okay.
Just do your job. It's the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I won't talk about it. That's it for the interest.
All right.
So that's Bongo Ideas.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
He looks quite young.
Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, he is very, very young. Very young. I know she'll say he grew past myself, but anyway.
So This is his face before or after?
This is before. We haven't seen his face after. Yeah.
But have you met him personally?
I haven't met him personally.
Okay.
I haven't met him personally. Yeah. I think he doesn't even come out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, to some of these events and all that. So I don't exactly meet him there. So that's it. Doc,
we'll see.
That's it for the trends today. It's good to be back.
All right.
Yeah.
So we thank God that you're back.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Congratulations to Madam. What's her name again? I keep forgetting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, to Madam, your fiancée. What's her name again? What's her name again?
Emanuela.
Emanuela. I should know Emanuela. Okay, she's done a great job these last 2 weeks. You're looking really good. So
okay.
Thanks, Emanuela.
That's it for the trends today.
Huh? Where does she work again? Huh? That'll be it for GMG. Up next, Metro Sports.